Good morning. Ooh, it's chilly out here this morning. Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Good. Good. Good morning. Good morning. How are y'all doing? How are you all doing this beautiful Saturday, May the 27th? Beautiful day in the neighborhood. I think Miss Carmen is coming to join me again this Saturday, so you know it's going to be a good conversation. Waiting for a few people to pop on before I get started. Hopefully you can hear me. I got my caramel crunch from Starbucks this morning. I've been waiting for this. Good morning, good morning, good morning. They have all the deliveries in the mornings out here. You hear all the delivery trucks. It's cool. Jesus. What are y'all doing for Memorial Day weekend? I don't know if anybody's on here yet. Good morning, good morning. How y'all doing? This beautiful Saturday morning. Let me know who's on and where you're viewing from. Let me know, let me know. Good morning. It is a beautiful Saturday out here in Vieira, Florida. It's a little chilly. It is a little chilly. Let me see how my phone looks. Y'all bear with me. I'm trying to get my light on. Oh, there we go. I'm trying to see how it looks out here. If I can turn this around. I don't know how to turn the camera around, y'all. So, yeah, here it is. That's how it looks out here. So peaceful. It's peaceful right now. It's a little cool though. Just a little cool. See if this light does anything for. Excuse me, y'all. Hello, hello, hello. How y'all doing in this Saturday morning? Trying to get my light together, y'all. I don't think that's it. I don't want that one. There we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I know Miss Carmen is on the way. She texts me and she's en route here. And I don't know who all is on. I can't really tell by looking at this to see who all is on. See, I am sporting my brand, Chocolate Blonde. So if there are any chocolate blondes out there with blonde hair, you need to sport one of my shirts. You need to sport a chocolate blonde shirt. Chocolate blonde tees or tank tops are going to be coming out for the summer, so stay tuned for those. But if you are a chocolate blonde and you love your blonde hair, get one of my shirts. Patronize the Talking Tees and get one of my shirts, Chocolate Blonde. All right? That's my little promo. But I am glad you all decided to join Coffee and Conversations with Paula this morning. Just something that I decided to do to chat it up, talk about some things, whatever, how much ever, whatever we want to talk about is what our Coffee and Conversations is always about. They are, I have slated them for 30 minutes, but they don't seem to last 30 minutes. They're always longer because we get to talking and chit-chatting and laughing and crying. So I just tend to go as long as, if I have a guest and we go longer, then we just go longer. But that's what Coffee and Conversations is about. It's not scripted. It has no script. It is not rehearsed. I don't have any notes, or anything like that. But I know you all saw the topic on the flyer that I put out. And I just wanted to get into that conversation on how we sometimes, how we have been, I don't want to say groomed or, I don't know. I don't even want to say taught. Like, I don't think anybody taught us to smile and take the blame. I don't think people teach that. I think that's something that we learn through our experiences, that we pick up, that we adapt. I don't personally think it's taught. I think that's something that we learn as a coping, as an escape sometimes. Like I said on the thing, sometimes we do it to keep the peace. Sometimes we don't speak up, or we don't voice our opinion or respond to certain things because we're trying to keep the peace. But what has that taught us? I'm 55 years old. So if I've been doing that since I was 10, 11, 12, 8, 16, 20, what has that taught me at my age now? Or how is that manifesting at 55? So now, at my age now, I'm a mother. All my children are grown and adults. And then I have grandbabies. So, I'm grown, good and grown, been good and grown for a long time. But how is that learned behavior manifesting itself in my life today? Do I not Do I not speak up when I need to? Do I not operate in boldness? Do I get quiet when things come up? Am I afraid? Do I come off as timid? You know, good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh, you got your little cup. You brought your own.
Sunshine.
It is cool though. I said, I must have, ooh.
Put it around.
Miss Carmen done brought me a scarf, y'all.
It's cold out here.
It's cool. Yes. So how does that manifest in our, how is that manifesting in my life now? If that's something that I learned years ago and I have adapted to that way of thinking, adapted to that way of being, how is that in your life today? And that's something that we have to ask, ourselves. Like, how am I exemplifying that behavior today? Where do I do that? And again, a lot of times we don't know, but the point to this conversation is to point it out, so you can notice it when it happens, or if it happens in your life, or in your thing. Y'all can see the lovely Miss Carmen. I'm trying to get this. Miss Carmen has joined me this morning. I'm good. She's gonna be on this camera this morning. But how does those things manifest in our life? I was telling them, I started off, talking about the flyer, and how I said, I don't believe that we are, it's literally taught to us to be silent or keep the peace. I don't think it's like literally taught. I think it's a learned behavior. It's a coping behavior, and sometimes it's a safe behavior. Sometimes we don't talk back, or we don't. I don't know how this. I want to turn this like this, but I don't.
Is it a win or lose situation? You just never know.
Yeah, it all depends on how it affects you. Like I said earlier,
that's always the bottom line.
And that's what I said earlier. If I learn this behavior as a child, how is it manifesting itself today? I'm 55 years old.
I'm
so,
almost 62.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
But when you look back, I've always been that way.
Yeah. And so what taught us to be like that? I mean, and let's be transparent. I'll talk about myself. As I thought about this subject and I look back, I was criticized a lot as a child by my mother. A lot, like everything I did, it was just picked apart. Bless her heart, rest in peace. I love my mother, but I was criticized a lot. So it silenced me. Like, why would, I say something? Like, if I would bring something home, how kids come home and tell your parents about something that happened in school, and you're looking for nurturing, you're looking for love, you're looking for, it's okay, baby. But when you get criticized in that moment over and over and get your head chopped off, I don't know, maybe my mom didn't know how to deal with it, or maybe she didn't have the tools she needed to do to help me deal with it, and that was her only way that she knew how to deal with it. But then it taught me, why say anything? Why say anything? Because it's nothing's gonna be done, or I'm not gonna get the result that I'm looking for, or the response that I need. And if you never get that as a child, or you never, those opportunities are missed at important times in a child's life, it sows a seed into that child's life, and it grows. As that child grows up, that seed grows, and that's not a positive seed. So then it manifests itself through life, through high school, through college, through the military, through whatever it is, it's still there, and it manifests itself in different ways. And I've noticed that in my past, it has manifested itself like I'm not an arguer. I've never been an arguer. I don't do all that. That's just, I'm confrontational.
But you don't.
But to fix it. Okay. Not like, I heard you so and so. I'm not like that. I ain't never been like that.
You're a fixer.
Yeah, let's talk about it so
Let's
we can
talk
get it
about
fixed.
If it can be fixed.
If it can be
You
fixed.
put yourself in a position that, hey, can we resolve
Yes.
this? But if not, girl, bye.
Yeah, I don't.
Girl, bye.
No. Or if I see that something is, you know, a vibe is off. No, I'm gonna keep the peace because, or if somebody, like I do this with my family, they can, you know, be wrong. And if I don't feel like I'm being heard or it's already kind of I don't push, I don't pull, I don't force. I just bow out gracefully without saying a word. And I know I learned that from dealing with that. I don't.
Well,
Yeah.
that's definitely learned. I'm gonna tell you something. When we being transparent, unfortunately, I've come to a point in my life that I moved from 15 up. I moved from 15 years old up.
Oh, wow.
Because in order for me to really, really move forward, I've had to, can't forget. I just don't go back to 15 under. I just can't go back to 15 under. And I think that I don't know why, and I don't know why I was the one. But I think that it has made me become the gentle person that I am today. Because of what I
Endured.
You know what? That's the word. Endured as a child. And when I have said it to others, they be like,
Yeah.
okay, y'all don't know. And listen, don't make me feel like what I am saying is just in my imagination.
Yeah.
I know.
You know, you just wrong.
But I've grown. I've moved forward. It has made me a better woman. It has made me a better parent. Because ain't no way that I could do some of the things that was done to me. Thank God for July 5th, 1976. I can honestly sit here today and say my biological mother and I have never had any hearts.
Wow. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, but the remnants of my childhood, even though I fight it a lot of time, it has impacted my life as an adult. Yeah, as an adult.
And again, when we deal with those things like on the flyer, we're talking about how we sometimes have learned how to keep silent, pretty much, to keep the peace. And it has made us, learning those behaviors have made us scapegoats, have made us people pleasers. It turns into that when we don't speak up for ourselves and when we just keep silent to keep the peace. It makes us, I don't know, it affects us in so many different ways and different behaviors that sometimes we don't speak up when we need to for whatever reason. And we can't go through life not speaking up for ourselves, with letting people just do and say what they want to do and say and run across us however they want to run across us. I mean, we pick and choose our battles. We don't, have to say something all the time. But in the instances and the times that we need to say something, why don't we say it? Or why are we so paralyzed?
Because we're more concerned about other people's feelings than we are about ours.
And why is that?
Because we're more concerned about other, and you just scraping all over me today, sis. But I mean, anyway, it wasn't until like what they say today that I learned how
I was today years old.
I was today years old when I learned that people can't talk to me any kind of way. So
they can, but you don't have to let them.
But what I've learned, what I have learned, and it takes them like opening the oven and the steam hit their face because they don't usually see this part of me because I really suppresses it.
I like it.
You ain't gonna talk to me any kind of way. No more. It has. I'm done with it.
Yeah.
Girl, bye.
Yeah.
I'm done with it. You will not talk to me any kind of way.
Yeah.
You can either remove yourself from my presence first, because baby, eventually I will remove myself from you, and I don't have any problems with it. I don't have any disconnection, anxieties anymore.
Yeah.
You know what? You love me the same way I love you.
Yeah.
And if you can't, I'm good with it.
And I think when we deal with that type of stuff as a youngster, I think what the enemy's intent is to erase or decrease our value. Because again, when we allow people to talk to us any kind of way, do us any kind of way, drag us any kind of way, or whatever, we don't value ourselves.
You're giving them permission. We're giving them access.
Exactly. So we are allowing it because we're not, that behavior or that situation or whatever that learned behavior has taught us to devalue ourselves, and it decreases our value. So again, like you said, we're allowing it. We're teaching them how to treat us because we are allowing them to just talk to us and drag us or whatever. And we don't have to do that. So I believe that kind of decreases our value when we don't speak up or when we keep quiet to keep the peace. Now, I don't believe we always have to say something all the time. There's a time and a place for everything. But in the times that we should speak up, in the times that we should speak up for ourselves, on behalf of ourselves, why don't we? Why don't we? What are we afraid of? And I know I do that sometimes. I won't say anything because to me it ain't worth it because I'm done.
Well,
you know,
I used to just be the sponge for everybody. You can say anything to me. You can do anything to me. You can. Then one morning I woke up. I'm like, look at here now. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
This is not a two-sided story. Yeah, this is too much. So now, you know, anything that is learned can be unlearned.
Sure can.
Anything that is learned could be unlearned. I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but it can. Because when we do something repetitiously, all the time, it becomes a habit. And habits can be broken.
That's right. You're right.
Habits can be broken.
You're right.
You know, the way we way we allow people to listen, the way we allow people to treat us, they're not doing it on their own. They're doing it because we've allowed it. We've given permission. We've given access. No more allowance, no more permission, and no more doggone access.
That's it.
Because my feelings, my being, my emotional, my mental health is just as important as yours. Yeah. And a lot of people talk to people and treat people that way because they're dealing with something too. They talk at people.
Yeah.
They talk at people.
Yeah. They're dealing with stuff too. So you got that clashing with what you're dealing with, and it's just a bunch. But it's like we have to, you know, even like in relationships and friendships and stuff like that, there are different types. You know, people are people. People have their own way of communicating. People have their own way of expressing love, care, concern, that type of stuff. But that doesn't mean the way they express something is right or good for you. So it's up to us to, you know, say, hey, I don't like when you do this.
Or they say you took it the wrong way. No, I took it the way you said it.
That right there,
you took it the wrong way.
Burns my button. Because you know you did what you did. You know you said what you said. You know you did what you did. And you meant it the way you said it, and you meant it the way you did it. But then when I say something to you to hold you accountable to it, now I took it the wrong way. Or I didn't understand what you said.
Well, yeah, I'm in my feelings. That's me. But my feelings are important.
I ain't in my feelings. I'm telling you about what you said that I don't like. What do feeling got to do with that?
But that's what they say.
And that makes you so mad because they are avoiding the accountability. And some people are shocked that you even said anything.
Because they've gotten away with it for so long. They've gotten away with it so long. And you know what that is?
Some people are bullies.
I was just going to say the same. I was just going to say, I swear, I was just going to say, so, they're bullies, habitual bullies. So some people are habitual bullies that they don't even realize.
Because they've been that way their whole life.
Or they say, that's just the way I am. Oh, baby, no.
That don't excuse it. It doesn't excuse it.
And it doesn't make it right.
Yeah, but then for those types of people,
I was just going to say the same thing, bullies.
And for those types of people, some are in our families, some are in our circles, some are in our workplaces, they're everywhere. But for those types of people, how do we handle them? Do we not say anything to keep the peace? Like what the flyer said, do we not to keep the peace? Because we don't have the energy to go back and forth, or what?
Listen, my peace is important as yours.
But you hadn't always been that way, though. Yeah, but we haven't always been that way.
I saw something that says, when I cut you off, don't ask why, because evidently you gave me the scissors. You gave me the scissors.
Yeah.
And it's no love lost. It's just that I'm at a place now that, you know what? I'm a priority.
Putting up with it. Yeah.
I don't have to put up with it.
And I think that happens, that we come to that place the older we get. I think it comes with age. It's like you start looking at yourself where you are in life. I don't know. It's just something that comes with age where you just realize, like your realization eyelids open up or something, and you be like, stuff that been said all this time, and all of a sudden it don't. Wait a minute.
I'm tell you, I step out of church, girl. I be like, what the?
Yeah, it take you there sometime, and then you think about it. I've been letting this person talk to me like this forever. So,
and let me tell you this, for the sake of love, you will let people do it. Back in the old me would have let people do it.
Yeah. Because again,
it's powerful.
We can't say anything. Like for me and my why say anything? Nothing's gonna be done. I'm gonna be criticized for it. So why say anything? And then that's what the enemy wants. He wants to silence you, and he wants to sow that seed so it can grow in your life, to silence you, not for the moment that you are in, the seed is being sown, but for your growth later. Like, look what I do today. I'm PC Ministries. I deal with what you feel from the inside out. I help people deal with what they feel from the inside out. I'm a motivational speaker. Look at me. Why wouldn't the enemy try to silence me?
Well,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not for when I was going through it as a child, but for today. So I wouldn't say what I'm saying. I wouldn't do what I'm doing today, or I would have this complex about myself like I used to have. So nobody want to hear what I got to say. People used to always say, well, who she thinks she is? Who does she think she is? I had a pastor tell me, well, what gives you the right to be so-and-so and so-and-so?
That's a whole nother.
Yeah, I don't even want to go to that. But I've had that stuff said to me. And again, that's the stuff that was said to me as a child. That not the same sense, but stuff like that.
Let me ask you this. Do you think if that hadn't happened to you as a child, you would be able to minister to it now? Because
there's purpose in every pain.
It's purpose in pain, and then the process.
Yeah. And we have to, I said this Saturday night at my Fight for Your Healing, sometimes we get so caught up in the pain of what we're going through, rightfully so, that we don't even think, or we're not even aware that we have to look for the purpose in it. See, something got to come out of this.
See, hold that right there. Because my dear friend this morning, I said, listen, I'm I'm struggling this morning. I've been struggling all week long, and her words was, "I'm sorry that you're struggling. I'll see you later." I could have stayed in bed. So don't ever think that what you're doing now is not saving lives. Don't ever think that your pain was worthless. Because everybody couldn't have gotten me out of bed this morning. Everybody couldn't have gotten me out of bed.
Carmen, you gonna have me out here crying. I hit the books of me, and Miss Carmen finna have me try to, I'm not gonna do this today. I'm not.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And I need to hear that, you know, because you just never know.
You never know. And our paths crossed in 1976.
Woo. I was a little something.
She was a little something.
Quiet.
Now,
you see why I was so quiet?
Now, we're going to be really transparent. Because what she shared with me, I never saw it from the person that was inflicting it on her.
Nobody ever saw it.
Never.
And the thing that hurts today is nobody believes it.
I do.
No, they don't believe it. Like,
I do. Let me tell you why. Because people will do stuff to people. And then when you call them on it, they be like, "Oh, no, I didn't." "Oh, yes, you did."
Yeah.
And I'm going to leave that at that.
Yeah.
"Oh, yes, you did."
Yeah. Or they downplay it.
Downplay
you know, like
it.
when people say stuff like,
because we were children.
Yeah. Or you don't know what you're talking about. You know, I what about this one when you say, so just say that you did something to me and you're not aware. And I say, "Miss Carmen, you know, you hurt my feelings when you said what you said," or, you know, well, I'm just using it as an example. And then I'm telling you that you hurt my feelings. I'm telling you that you offended me. And you come back and say, "Well, if I hurt your feelings, or if no, it's not if. I'm telling you, whether you meant it or not, whether I'm not saying you meant it, I'm just saying, hey, when you said this or when you did this, it hurt my feelings."
And so, that's where effective communication come in. Effective communication. Don't, by just saying, "Paula, I'm so sorry that I hurt your feelings.
I didn't mean to.
I didn't mean to." That means, but once you put that if, you saying but.
You're negating what I just told you.
Totally.
Like,
not owning up to it.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you are a person that somebody comes to and tells you something that you did to them, whether you meant it or not, don't say if. You're negating what they just told you for whatever their reason is. If you have a communication in that moment, maybe you can help them see that they may have took it the wrong way, or you didn't mean it that way. But don't negate what they're saying, because whatever their reasons is for telling you that you hurt their feelings or you offended them, that's their reason. So don't ever negate what somebody tells you. You listen to them, and whether you believe what they're saying or whether you agree, still listen. And then maybe through effective communication, you can let them know that you didn't mean that, or you know, or maybe explain it again, or what have you. Or you may be even able to help them see that they took it the wrong way. Sometimes it's like that, because some people, you know, people are just like that. Some people are walking with their feelings on their shoulders and everything.
You never know what's going on with the deliverance and the perception. And that's deliverance and perception.
And some people are dedicated to misunderstanding you. That's their thing. They're gonna, no matter, you can say the sky.
Well, I'm guilty of that sometimes too.
The sky is blue,
but you forgot the white cloud.
Well, it ain't like blue. Yeah. Like, some people are going to pick you apart. Some people are going to criticize you. Some people are going to misunderstand you because they want to. And we can't be driven by that. We can't be redirected by that, because that's their issue. Especially when you try to operate. I know I try to operate in clear communication. I try to voice clearly my intention. I try to voice clearly when I say, that's my husband say, you always say stuff over and over, because I'm trying to make sure it's clear. I'm trying to make sure you understand what I'm saying, because as a child coming up, I've always been misunderstood. It used to bother me so much when people say, I would get up and I would say what I need to say. And then they'd come behind me, well, what Paula's trying to say. No. I said what I was trying to say. It wasn't no. And that used to bother me coming up, because I'm like, well, am I not speaking clearly? You know, but then I always had an issue. When I was a child, I used to stutter real bad. I used to stutter. My dad stuttered. Like, if you knew my dad, yeah. And you know,
that's a kept secret.
But look how this thing break down now. You tell me.
Let me get mad.
Look, tell me now. Watch how God broke this thing down for me when I was studying this. Listen. So my dad stuttered real bad. Like, everybody know my dad. Know he stammering Joe. He could not talk. Well, I was the child of his that inherited that. So I couldn't talk without stuttering, and I used to get picked on in school. I mean, high school, it was bad, you know. So I had to grow up with that. Okay, but I couldn't talk to nobody about it because you get it. So I had to deal with it.
Slow down.
I had to deal with slow down. I had to deal with it. Okay, again, that makes you silent and keep the peace, and you don't want to say anything, and now you're a scapegoat. Now you just because you don't want to say nothing, because if you do. So through my study of that stuttering spirit, there's a spirit behind that. And one of the spirits behind that is a deaf and dumb spirit. So in a deaf and dumb spirit, and I'm paraphrasing because I haven't studied it in a while, but if what I can recall from that study is it makes you feel dumb. Like whatever you do doesn't make sense. You're not smart enough. So that's the spirit that comes off of that stuttering. It's a deaf and dumb spirit attached to that. So now, I don't know that's attached to that. I don't know. So then I grow up dealing with stuff. So I didn't go off to school and get my degree. I started school in life and I just chose different things. So now I don't feel like I'm smart enough because I don't have my degree. And people would say things like, and again, this is not something that I think they were being malicious. They would say things like, because I've had some awesome jobs making some good money. And they would say things like, you're too smart not to have your degree.
How many times have I heard that?
You're too smart not to, you don't have your degree, are you sure? Why wouldn't I be sure if I have my degree? I know. So that would always make me feel less than because of that spirit that was resting on the inside of me. So when people come up behind me and say stuff like what Paula's trying to say, it would make me sink because I feel like I didn't say it clear enough, or I didn't say it right, or I didn't use the right words, or whatever, you know. And I know that was just the enemy orchestrating that in my hearing. That person probably didn't even mean how I took it. Maybe not, maybe so. I don't know. But that's how I took it because of the enemy seed inside of me, that in my hearing, that's how I heard it. You know, so that doesn't really, how are you? So, you know, but, you know, but that's how I heard it. So with that spirit resting inside of me like that, it can flare up at any time, and I can take things the wrong way based off of how I hear from that spirit. But that spirit caused me to feel like I'm not smart enough.
Inferiority is a spirit too. It makes you feel. But I remember my mom with the sixth grade education. She told me one day. She said, "I don't care how broke you are. Look like you got money. I don't care how everybody in the room could have degrees, but be able to hold a conversation that no one ever questions if you have one or not." See, the thing about, and I'm not knocking anybody because, you know, I'm pro-education.
Right.
And if I had the chance to do it again, if I wasn't scared of math,
Let's do it together.
If I could find something that don't have math,
let's do it together.
Accountability.
Let's do it together because I want to do it so bad. But anyway, go ahead. We'll talk about that off camera.
you know, it will make you feel like, it will make you literally,
Yeah.
your spirit sinks, and your body,
Yeah. It'll make you small.
It will make you feel
Dim your light.
yeah, it would dim your light.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, we have people, and I'm not going to apologize for what I'm about to say, because it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
We have people in our circles that have numerous degrees. Oh, they deal with us. But do you realize that some of those same people have a mentality that we're not equal? Mm-hmm. And that's a whole another thing anyway. But
Because
like,
their identity is their degree.
yes, yes. I've been told to my face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I overcame that.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, we have to look at what it hits.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Why it bothers us so
Yeah.
much.
Because the first thing somebody asked me when I got the job that I have now,
What
do you have a degree in that? Baby.
How she
No.
got that?
Let me tell you what
I'm supposed to be here.
let me tell you what God will do.
Ooh.
He will strategically put you in places
The Bible.
where you need to be and give you the provisions that you need.
Favor ain't fair.
Favor ain't fair, baby.
And the Bible says that he will use the foolish things to confound the wise. He'll pick the one in the back past all of that.
Baby, who
Because
would
that's
have
who I
ever
want.
thought?
What's 4 years for
Listen,
you?
somebody sent me a picture the other day. I did commencement at Bethune-Cookman University. And the rule is, if you're not a tenured employee, you are not supposed to be on the stage. Well, baby, listen.
Miss Carmen, no you didn't.
Listen. I'm just going to say this. And I tried to hide behind the curtain.
See, there we go,
tried
watering
to
ourselves down.
Yes, because I knew that I wasn't supposed to be
You thought
on
you
this.
would.
I thought I wasn't supposed to be, because that's what they were saying.
Wow.
You're not supposed to be, tenure. It only like if
Yeah.
your professors and blah 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 blah. Well, there she
Professional.
is right there on the stage,
Shut up, Miss Carmen. Let me see.
passing out degree covers. I
Go
didn't
now.
even know somebody out there in
Took
that
it.
was streaming saw me and took the picture.
Oh,
Now you tell me.
I'm supposed to be here. I'm
tell
supposed
me.
to be here.
I'm supposed to.
And
be
you
here.
know that's one of the things. I'm proud of you for that. That is amazing. It may be small to some people, but it's big to some people.
And when I saw it, I was like, and you had to be
Autistic
there.
guys, didn't
You
you?
had to be there, because if you know how a stage is made, they
Yeah,
have the stage
I've
curtain,
been in there.
and I kept tucking myself behind the
Yeah.
stage
Yeah.
and passing. All you could see was my hand,
And tucking ourselves back. Why? Because we were told we're not supposed to be
there.
there. So we operate like that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And the top. So Miss Wilkes, come from behind the curtain.
You inch up a little bit.
Pow! Booyah! I had known that I had worn my wig that day.
Oops. You got to be ready. Come ready.
Listen,
Wow.
I still believe that God is who He says He is. With all that I went through as a child, with all that I
Preach,
went
Miss
through,
Carmen. Preach. I'm
the
trying to
not good enough,
preach.
the not good enough as an adult, with all that I was denied, baby, denial, delaying.
It's not denial.
Baby, let me tell you this.
What God has for you,
Is
it
for
is
me.
for you.
It's for me. And one day I'm going to share how I even got this job, because I was not looking for a job.
Because I was like, you was at the other. I'm like,
I
what is she doing?
I was just as happy where I was.
Wow.
I have no degree.
Wow.
I have the love for what I do. I have skills.
And
And that is why I am so pro-trade.
Your Bible said your gift will make room for you
That's what it said.
and bring you
Right
before.
there. Right there. I done did daycare, VBK, elementary school, middle school, open to high school, adult ed.
How are you?
And look where I am now.
Good. Wow.
At a historically black institution.
Wow. When God
No
opens
degree.
a door, he opens a door. It doesn't matter where it is. If he wants you in something, he's going to put you in there. And he don't need qualifications for other people. Favor ain't fair. Favor is what it is. It does what it does.
There's a place for everybody. And had I listened to the "You're not good enough,"
You wouldn't be sitting here.
I wouldn't be sitting here today.
Yeah.
To the ones that thought I wasn't good enough,
Booyah!
thank you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And it's like you said earlier, we go through things in our life that is actually can be building us for according to our purpose.
Who would ever thought?
Yeah, we don't know. You know, coming up as 8-year-old, 10-year-old, 20-year-old, 30-year-old, 40-year-old, we don't know a lot of times what our purpose is. But God is making us and molding us. God can use situations and circumstances, hurts, disappointments, frustrations, loss. He can use anything in our life that we go through to make us and mold us into what he wants us to be. And see, we don't know what that is. We're coming into that. In our 20s, I didn't know what I was going through in my 20s was going to be conducive to today. I didn't know what I was going through as a child, dealing with my mom that was going to birth PC Ministries, dealing with what you're feeling from the inside out. I didn't know that. All I know is it was painful. It was affecting me in a negative way, and such is life. But I didn't know the purpose in any of that. And if you're watching this and you're listening to us, look at what you're going through. Look at what you're going through, whatever it is. It don't have to be something as great as what we're talking about, or as deep, or as hurtful. It could be anything that's bothering you, that's bothering you, and find the purpose in that. Why and how long has it been bothering you? Because a lot of times the enemy operates right around our gifting, and the area that we're supposed to be in, the area of our purpose, is going to always be troubled. It's going to always be a fight. Always be a fight. It's going to always be a fight. So you have to really look. You have to look at that. You just thought about something.
Man, listen, yeah, I've been typing all my life. I could not pass a typing test not one time when I went to take a typing test. But I can get on there and I can. So God will.
But look, let me point something out. When we was taking our typing test in school, we had to type a certain amount of words a minute.
And you had to have strong fingers because you didn't have no computer.
But look, do you need that now? You still typing, but
still
does it have to be in a... So see, the stuff that we go through, the stuff that we endure at
Thank
that
God
time,
for autocorrection.
the restrictions and stuff that we had at that time, you don't even need those. Release those restrictions. Like we're typing now, but I ain't got to type 77 words per minute to do what I do. I had to do it to pass in school, but I don't have to do that to pass now. But it taught you how to put them hands up there and type. You know, and we was typing on typewriters, y'all.
And in order to type on typewriters, you had to have strong fingertips, and you had to have a quick wrist.
We
baby,
ain't had no delete button. We had white out.
We had white out, and then if the white tape ran out, that the correction tape ran out.
Put it in. You got to back it up and try to line it up.
But God is good.
Yeah, we don't have that now, but we had to endure that then for now. But look how that has made what you do now better. So we have to look at what we've gone through, what we go through, and we have to some kind of way, and I'm not saying what we go through is easy. I'm not saying that at all. But we have to some kind of way take our focus off of the hurt and the pain and the disappointment and the frustration of it, and try to find the purpose in it, because there is definitely purpose. And I think purpose, there are steps. It lines you up. It focuses you on what God has intended for you in your future or what's to come for you. You don't know when that is or what that is or how that is. But if you look at what you're going through, and take your focus off of the pain of it, like a hurt of it.
Because your pain will keep you bound. It will keep you in bondage.
You ain't gonna be able to see.
Your pain will keep you in bondage.
If and I don't like to go into this all the time, if I would have focused on the pain of going through chemo, the pain of having a breast mastectomy, bilateral mastectomy, the pain of radiation, I would not have heard God tell me to start PC Ministries a weekly broadcast in the middle of going through chemo.
And stop downplaying that, because that's part of PC Ministries. That's part of your journey.
But if I had not had, if I would have just sat in, I don't want to say woe is me, because I don't want to negate going through that. Because that is painful and it's worrisome and it's fearful. But if I would have just given into just that part of why am I here?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't believe this. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. If I would have just sat in that, I would not have been able to hear him say PC Ministries weekly. And then I hear him say that, but I wouldn't even given myself permission to do it, because I would have been so overwhelmed in the pity of it, the sorrowness of it, the sadness of it.
Are you being still in that moment?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's the reason why you heard what needed to be done.
Yeah. Because I had already cried. I cried from December to January.
Yeah.
I cried.
Be still and know that I am God.
And he told me that in the chemo chair. So I'm in the chemo chair, y'all. I don't know if you ever seen the chemo chair, but it's a regular recliner. It's very comfortable. And I'm in the port, and I'm sitting up in there, and this is when he says this. And I ain't thinking about this. I'm watching this lady access his port with this needle and go through this chemo. I'm sitting here watching her, and then he says this. Now, mind you, my chemo is 3.5 hours. The sessions were 3.5 hours, so I got time.
You were still.
So I got to pray about that. I heard that. I ain't even write it down, because normally when God tell, I keep a pad and a pen, because God, I ain't even write that down, because I'm like, he can't be. I think that's just because I love ministry. I love to minister. I love to, motivate.
Your deliverance is very good. Your deliverance is very good.
We're going to get to that.
Yeah. No,
we're gonna get to that.
Your deliverance of the way you minister to people is so. It sends out an alert button, like, oh, okay.
And I need to hear that, because I have tried to change so many times. Like, I've been doing this for years, y'all. I haven't just started this. I've been doing this for years. And you look at others, and you look at what you think you're supposed to be, or how you think you're supposed to be. Again, we're talking about the ways we water ourselves down to keep the peace, or the way we look at things, what it has produced in us to make us what we are today. I'm paraphrasing that flyer, but we're still talking about all of that. And you look at, I've been in church my whole life, so you look at what ministry, what you have formed in your mind ministry to be.
What we taught.
I don't look like that.
Yeah, what we were taught. That was a talk.
I don't look like that.
Yeah.
I don't carry myself like that. I like to wear shorts. I like to wear short shorts. I used to wear, before I got all this menopause belly, crop tops and tank tops, and that's me. I wear 2 pieces when I go to the beach. Well, not right now, but I'm gonna give them a minute. I wear 2 pieces when I go to the beach. I don't wear cover-ups. I'm sassy. I'm a sexy saint. Well, you can't be a minister of God and be like that. This is me. I'm like, you can't be like that. So there's no way God has called me to do this. And this is what I have fought with for years. I've been doing this since 2003, 2004. God has been making me and molding me and grooming me, teaching me and leading me and guiding me and directing me, changing me, taking some stuff off of me, putting some stuff on. Since 2004, y'all. And I'm not going to say it's been easy. It's been a battle because I had to exchange my will for his will in a lot of areas, and I'm still a work in progress. But what I did learn with that is I'm allowed to be a work in progress and still minister. And how God has shown me that is through the comments like what Miss Carmen just said, the text messages I get, the inbox messages I get, all of that, the people saying how what I'm doing and what I've said and something, whatever, has really helped them. And I'm sitting here like,
Yeah.
but I'm over here feeling like, but so
Yeah.
we don't have to be perfect. It's something that I learned. I used to think that I used to have to know every book in the Bible and Genesis to Revelation before I could even preach.
You know what?
Who told you that?
Your life is a word all by itself. Mm-hmm. And if we always are we're too ashamed to share our experiences,
mm-hmm.
then shame on us, because we don't know how we can help.
Yeah.
We don't know how we can help a person feel better about himself or herself. And that's why I tell people all the time, oh, my kid going here, let it be your kid's decision to do. Now, we want our children to be productive,
yeah.
without doubt.
Yeah. Yeah.
But let it be your kids.
Yeah.
Let it be your kids' decision.
Yeah.
Let it be your kids' decision.
Yeah.
Because eventually, when we're gone, they're still here, they can't live for us. They got to live for themselves.
Yeah, that's a whole nother message right there.
And we need to encourage our kids and let our kids know that what you see in us now is not the way it's always been.
Mm-mm.
Not the way it's always been.
Mm-mm.
Not the way it's always been.
Yeah.
And just always believe that if God will make provisions, and He will provide.
Always.
Every time. But you have to have an open eyes and an open heart to receive, because it's not going to always look like we want it to look.
And we don't always see the provision
and
because we're looking at the wrong thing.
We don't always see the provision. Yeah. And when we talk about how people treat us, and you know what I had, what was the turning point?
Mm-hmm.
Just in life, I always separate my needs from my wants.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be liked, but I don't need to be liked. I want to be a part of the total family, but I don't need to be in the lives of people that don't respect who I am or my opinions.
Or you always leave feeling beat down every time you around.
I've left situations that felt like, and felt like, well, how did I even get there from the beginning?
Yeah. I did that one time. I was like, God, why do you let this happen to me? God said, I didn't tell you to keep going back over there.
Just be done. You don't have to be mean.
Because you was loyal. I didn't tell you to keep. I told you to forgive, but that don't mean you got to go back.
Y'all better be glad this is spiritual.
This is coffee and conversations.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you, I'm quick to say, ain't loyal.
You're not.
Everybody smiling at you, ain't happy for you. Okay, we gonna.
And then people wonder why people don't share. I had a lady telling me, again, going through what I've gone through with this cancer and all of this, a lot of people reach out to me. And one of the ladies that reached out to me recently, she was like, I think she had some friends and family that were upset with her because she didn't share the this information when she found out she was diagnosed and she was having surgery. They got mad, and I told her, I said, get over it. I said, because you can't tell that this is life or death situation. You can't share this with everybody. You can't. I said, you're going to be surprised at the people that will be there for you and the people that are going to ghost you. Don't be surprised. Don't be in your feelings. I said, because this is going to happen. I said, so you have to be prayerful about who you tell, because not everybody is where you think they are to be able to pray and understand and support you in your situation. You're going to get your feelings hurt. And I say, I'm speaking from experience. I ain't speaking from nothing I read. I'm telling you what's going to happen. I said, so if you don't feel released to tell somebody something, then don't. Now, if you want to give them an explanation as to why, then you can do that. But you don't really owe them that either, because this is your life. This is your, and if it's a close person to you and you don't feel released to tell them, why? If that's a close person and you're going through something like this, why don't you feel released to tell them? Why don't you feel comfortable telling them what you're dealing with? There's a reason. There's a reason. So
y'all be careful when y'all tell people stuff and they gonna come out the side mouth, outside of their mouth and talking about, well, you should have done this and you should have done that. You know what? We need to learn how to be listeners more than
I had to learn that with I'm a transformation coach. I help people get what they feel, So when you're talking to people, that light coming on, like you want to pick it apart and you want blah 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 blah. And God taught me, not everybody that comes to you and share with you wants to be coached. Just because you are a transformation coach don't mean that every time
not
somebody
always on the job.
Right. He said sometimes you just need to listen.
Wow.
And give a hug or an encouraging word, but they don't want you to tell them what they need to do and give them 5 steps to. I had to learn that, because I only thought that people was contacting me because they needed that. But sometimes people just want to talk.
But that first contact with you, if it's what they need, then they'll come back when they're
right.
Some people can do everything at one time. But some people need steps.
And I had to learn that. I had to learn that.
They need steps, and not because you're not good, but because when a person starts to revealing their,
that's a lot.
The number one thing that comes to mind is trust.
That's it.
And if they have trust issues, they're not going to come. They're not going to slide in there. They're going to get bits, give you bits.
And they want to see if you're going to tell somebody. Because we do that. We sit back and we talk about each other. One of my clients,
everybody don't understand the confidentiality.
They don't. And then we do it so much to each other, especially as black women, that we don't trust each other. Just because you might see me with somebody in your mind, you think, I know she's telling her my business. And we have to dispel that. We have to really dispel that, because can't nobody tell you, anybody that I've coached, anybody that I've counseled or mentored, can't tell you that anybody told them nothing that you told me. I will stand flat-footed and decree that, because I know that. And I understand the purpose of my calling. God would rip me up and down if I ever did that. He would get me, because this is his calling that he's placed on my life. And people have to trust me with what they're feeling, without worrying about me telling anybody that, or me getting on my live and preaching some of the pastors over the pulpit about what you did. It's not about that. It's about helping people heal with what they feeling on the inside out. Helping you heal from it. Not how it makes me look, how it makes me sound. It ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm just a vessel. And we get so caught up in the titles and the anointing. Like, I know I'm gonna go sign in. I know I'm anointed. You know what I'm saying? And it took me so long to say that, to be able to say that. I know, like, when I'm up and I'm ministering, like, I feel God. Like, I know God is saying, do this, do that, do this, say it like this, be like. I know that's him. But it took me so long to be comfortable in that, to walk in that freeness of how he's made me.
And the fact that probably one of the number one questions you had was, why me? And am I worthy for this task?
And what do people, who she think she is? Because I've heard that my whole life. Who she think she is? Yeah. And like I said, I've been at this since 2004. This is not new. This is not new to me, and I'm just now. I think had it not been for me going through breast cancer, I wouldn't be as confident in God as I am now.
Because you listen, I mean,
I wouldn't be.
Not just in God, but when I look at you when we did that all white woman,
Oh,
you
that was beautiful, wasn't it?
exhumed. I mean, confidence just oozed out.
Miss Carmen, can I share something? Go ahead.
And to see all of us together.
Yeah.
And you know, for the first time in a long time, I felt comfortable around all those women, because not only did we were there for the same reason,
what it did.
but what it did, you had, if you missed it, you missed the most powerful thing. I don't know everybody's name there, but some of the kids, some of the young ladies, I dealt with them in middle school. I dealt with them. I dealt with their children at Emma Jewel.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just
Beautiful.
It was just beautiful.
Yeah.
And the most beautiful thing about it all was at the end, I found out that I was the oldest.
Yeah, it was. My daughter was the youngest. She was 24. Up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just, and every time I see the pictures, I look at Carmen and I said,
Go, girl.
there she is. There she is.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what that photo shoot was all about. People were like, what is the purpose? It's a beautiful woman photo shoot. Period. Ain't no subtopic. Ain't no
Feet
reason.
hurting and everything.
Yeah.
Came in that with shoes, left without shoes, you know.
I think we all, yeah.
But, you know, it was the most. And if you have a group of women and you want to see what it's all about, paths may never cross it.
Done on that day. You know, I'm going to share something with you about that day. That day. I could have burst into tears at any point in time throughout that whole photo shoot. Not because of the photo shoot. Miss Carmen, I was wrapped up in so much fear at that time. I was, on the inside, a massive wreck because of everything that I was going through. I had just had a scan. I was waiting for the results. I was due for another scan. They was getting ready to do the colonoscopy to make sure the cancer hadn't spread anywhere else. And then here come this photo shoot. And I got to, man, I could have cried, broke down at any point in time during that photo shoot.
We needed that, and you needed that. You just don't know how many of us needed that.
Yeah, I think we all did.
We all needed that.
Yeah. I got
all
home and
that.
I was exhausted mentally, emotionally, not from the photo shoot, but mentally and emotionally. So I say all that to say you never know what people are going through when you do things. And I say this to myself, when God gave me that, and He told me exactly what to do, where to do, how to do it, and it was exactly what He showed me. So that's how I know that it was Him. I didn't know who was going to show up. I didn't know who, you know, and I've gone through that. You put something on, you put it out, they put it, and nobody show up. Man, I went through years of that. I know LaShondra McGee, she went through that with me. My husband and my kid, man, I would put stuff up, put it out, and do it, and my husband and my kids be there, and Sean. And Mother McGee, what the name of the church? Pastor Randy McGee. They used to let me use their church in Cocoa to do, you know, my woman-to-woman events and things like that, and nobody would show up. And that would be like, I know God said this. Like, I know He did, but nobody was showing up. So I had to learn how to deal with that type of stuff. And I would stop. I started things and stopped things because that's not, I wasn't embarrassed. I was confused. Like, I didn't understand people at that time. And even in that, God was still making and molding me into this today. So even when I do things today, I don't worry about who's coming, who's not coming. I don't worry about the numbers.
As long as you show up. You just gonna show up.
Especially if I know God said it and I know He said it. Yeah, I go with who's there, you know, and I understand that he had to break some things off of me. He He had to teach me some things. And then there was also a level of prayer and dedication that I needed to have to support what God was doing in my life. The Bible tells us to study to show ourselves approved. There was a level of dedication, there was a level of prayer, there was a level of study, and just different things that I had to devote my life to be able to walk worthy of the call that He has on my life. He had to show me a lot of those things, because anytime anybody can get up in the pulpit and read and preach a good message.
Mm-hmm.
People
get folks stirred up.
We know how to we know how to do all that, because that's learned behavior.
That's learned behavior.
Yeah, we know how to do that. But to be anointed, to be availed to God, to where He is in it, and it does what He wants it to do and not what we want to do, that's different. That's different. So, you know, it takes a lot for us to walk out who God has called us to be. And a lot of times when we're going through life, you know, as a child, we definitely not going to understand it. But as I always say, as a child, we're not responsible for what happens to us, around us, and all that kind of stuff. But as an adult, we are 100% responsible to healing from that, to addressing that, to taking accountability for it, seeing it, and healing and growing from it. That is 100% our responsibility as an adult. It doesn't negate what you went through as a child. It doesn't negate all the hurt and disappointment and the bad things that you've gone through. But we can't live there forever. And when I say live there, I don't mean you got to forget, and I don't mean you got to negate what you went through. I'm not saying that at all. But if it's hindering you, if it's overwhelming you,
keeping you stuck,
or paralyzing you in a place, then it's time that we deal with it, because you can't stay there. It's not healthy for you.
It's really not healthy.
It's
and
not.
You know, we all go through something, and we don't, a lot of people think, oh, she has a good life, you know, and she's this and they're that and they're, but we all go through something. And unfortunately it takes some of us a little longer to step out and trust and believe. And I'm not saying trust and believe in people. You know, we talk about we trust God and we believe in God. But to actually step out, that's not an easy thing.
Because you're stepping out alone. You might be surrounded by people, but
you're
when
stepping out alone.
You're stepping out alone.
You're
you and
stepping
God.
out alone. And I had to find out as a woman over 60 that people wasn't my worst enemy. I was, because self-doubt.
And that's what the enemy.
And
that's what the enemy wants to create in us through all of this. What we're talking about is that right there. He wants to pit us against ourselves, because our voice is the loudest voice we hear. What we tell ourselves is what governs our actions.
Now, I can tell other people, all my little lady challenger, I can tell y'all how to be. But but you know, I dealt with with self-doubt, because it took one time for somebody to tell me I wasn't good enough, and I allowed it to
grab it and harbor it.
And grow.
And we nurture it.
And I nurtured it. And when the time came that I felt otherwise, and I knew
you battle with it.
I had to dig down,
get the root,
with the root to the root of it, before I could move on.
Preach.
And when I got down to the root
to cut them down
to the root of it,
they were wrapped everywhere.
2010. 2009, honey, I was living it up. It was a pivotal moment in my life. A very pivotal moment, very changed moment. I learned a lot. I went through a lot. But I took ill. And it was the craziest thing, the message I got from God while I was ill. in the ICU unit. He said that I've taken you from one point to the other. But now, I got to get down on the inside of you. And when I said, you got down on the inside of me, all the junk, let me tell you how life is.
You had nothing to do with nobody else.
You can live and you keep digesting the junk. What you eat, you digest it.
You are what you eat.
You are what you eat. When I was in that trauma unit for 11 days,
Wow.
this is what I got. I needed to cleanse you in the spiritual realm, but I also need to cleanse you in the physical realm. And let me tell you what happened. When the doctors told me what was wrong with me, he said it's like a gate, and you have poison ivy. The poison ivy method was that the scar tissues from years, now we're talking about 21 years, I lived with this scar tissue. 21 years. And it wrapped around my intestines. And that is why I was almost on deathbed. But I got from it purging. I got from it purging. The Lord had to not just take me out of a situation. He had to take the situation out of me. And when I tell you,
wow,
I knew
yeah,
I knew that my time was up.
yeah.
I asked the Lord, if you just give me one more chance.
Mm-hmm.
They untubed me. I said, the nurse said, I said, I can't. The doctor couldn't understand why I was still very ill. I said, you gotta put, she said, I can't put it down, got back down. I said, please, my body can't take this. I knew, but if I had just given in, while I was in ICU, do you know I heard a voice say, girl, you ain't good enough. Ain't no purpose, just as loud.
Enemy don't play for
Just as loud, just as loud. And I kept saying, no, I'm not ready, no, I'm not ready, no, I'm not ready, no, I'm not ready.
Wow.
A whisper. Wow. Do what's familiar. That's all the whisper said. Do what's familiar.
Wow.
Yolanda Jackson sat by my bedside, and the only thing I was doing was calling on the name of Jesus.
Wow.
That's all I could say was call on the name of Jesus.
Wow.
So sometimes God would have you to go through, and purge you. Not just in the spiritual, but in the physical realm too. Yes.
Sounds like allowing the process.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
And from that day forward, you cannot, I don't care what nobody say, I don't care what nobody give me, you cannot tell me that calling on the name of Jesus, prayer,
It works. It works.
I'm a living testimony, baby.
It works.
I got a scar from here to here.
It works. Wow. It works.
Yep. And that's what it was. That's how life is. It has the poison ivy effect. Sometimes it'll get you, and those roots are just,
It does.
and they hold you hostage. And you around here thinking that everything.
It dictates your behavior.
Yes.
It dictates
Yes.
your actions and your
Yes.
thought patterns.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can fall asleep on it if you want to.
When y'all get a chance, go back on PC Ministries page. Go to my videos and look for the PC Ministry. I think at that time I was doing I was doing Thursday Night Live. Look for my broadcast on Unbecoming. I think I have part 1 and part 2. Watch those two broadcasts. It's called Unbecoming. Sometimes we have to unbecome to become. And and sometimes in the unbecoming is doing exactly what you said. We have to allow God access to cut us at the root. At the root. The stronghold, the things that are holding us strong, that are not hindering our forward progress, hindering our growth in Him. And we don't know.
At the root.
Sometimes we have to be put in the hospital
Yes.
to
He got my attention.
to be exposed. And I'm like,
Got my attention.
I want to think, me going through what I went through. I don't believe, and this is not.
And it wasn't a punishment.
I don't believe this is founded. I don't know, but I personally don't believe God inflicted cancer on me. I don't believe that. Now, I know God can do some things to get our attention. I don't personally believe that, but I do believe, and just in my meditation on what I've gone through and the purpose in that moving forward is, I wonder, because I ran from God for a long time. I ran from the purpose of that, not feeling unworthy, not feeling that he could be talking to me, because ain't no way. No, he can't be. I'm not.
So you didn't pay attention to the whisper.
I'm not good enough.
Yep.
Because he can't be.
Yep.
You know, he can't be. So I ran from a long time, and there was a level of maturity in him that he had been calling me to for a long time.
You was young.
You know, they'll say, holiness without which no man can serve the Lord. Okay, yeah. But it ain't your holiness.
Yeah.
It's the holiness that God is calling a person to at the right time in their life. God don't do holiness like we try to do holiness.
But
Holiness ain't about a long dress and a turtleneck sweater.
That's their interpretation.
That ain't holiness, but it's the holiness
spiritual
between
thing.
what God wants you to do. And there were certain things about me that God no longer wanted me to do. There were certain things about me that God no longer wanted me to say, be around, all that kind of stuff. And he had been doing that for years. And I was not paying attention. I was not fully aware that that's what he was doing. I didn't fully understand. But I looked back through my journals, and he was saying the same thing for like years.
You made a good point there.
Mm-hmm.
Write it down.
Mm-hmm.
Make it clear.
That's what he said, write the vision, make it plain. And I didn't do any of that because I didn't think, in my thinking, it ain't nothing. It's not that serious. It's not this. It's not that. It's not this. It's not that serious. It's not that serious. I didn't understand the weight and the purpose of what he was instilling in me or what I was carrying. I didn't know at the time, so I'm not holding myself accountable to that. But it was his unctions to grow, his opportunities to, his whispers, okay, don't do this, not do this. Okay, this is what I want you to do now. I need you to do more of this. I need you to do more of this. I need you to participate in this. I wasn't paying attention to that in a whole sense. I heard him, but I wasn't making it a priority in my life as it pertains to what God, my purpose. I wasn't doing that. So I think when I got hit with cancer in 2021, hey, hello, since we here, do I have your attention now?
Not.
And he did a quick work. I don't want to say it's quickly, he's still working. But now, I'm not distracted. Now, I don't have little kids at home. Now, my job fired me in the middle of chemo, so I ain't got to worry about no job. So now I don't have to worry about a lot of the things, or I don't have a lot of the distractions. I don't have none of that. All I got now is just me and this chemo chair. And then get home and I got this lounger that I got to sit in because I'm nauseous and because I'm tired and I'm wore out. So now I ain't got nothing. So now I got to do this right here.
Focus on him.
On my back and look up.
Focus
So
on
it's
him
like,
with the capital H.
now, do I have your attention?
He, him, and his.
Do I have your attention? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now? Tap, tap.
So
Mic,
I'm
mic,
like,
check.
and it was at that moment I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's all I could say for a while. Oh my God. 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 God, what? Hi, how are you? Oh my God, like what? What, God? What is this? I can't believe I'm here. Those are the words. I can't believe I'm here. Like, this can't be real. This can't be real. And so once I got through all of that, it was like, okay, let me talk to you. Let me talk to you.
You went through the childhood. You went through the middle age. You went through all this. Little did you know that it was part of the process to get where you are today.
And it's still a process. Yeah.
And don't take this as small task that you have. Many won't say it.
Yeah.
But I ain't scared.
They don't
Not
say
no
it.
more. I ain't scared. She touching lives. And if you don't want to admit it, shame on you. But everybody should every now and then say, thank you, God, for transparency. That somebody, because you may not be going through it today.
Yeah.
But you know what? You don't know what tomorrow's going to
Yeah. Yeah. And again, like we're talking about the things that we've gone through that turns us into people pleasers. And that was me. The stuff that I've gone through. You want to be accepted. You want to be appreciated. You want to be loved. You want to be included. You want to have the girl time. You want to be invited into stuff that you don't. You want that. So you do things to get noticed or to be around the scene to get that. It's called people pleasing, and you do stuff to warrant that. And I had to grow from that, because God said that that can't be your value. Like, your value can't be wrapped up in the invites, or wrapped up in being included, or wrapped up in being a part of certain things. That can't be where your value is. So I had to be delivered from that. One of the things God told me within the last, I want to say the last year, I want to say this year, I think, I had to look at my notes. God told me, he said, you're not common. I didn't make you common. And I'm like, well, what does that mean? And you look up common, and it's like, common is what everybody do. Ordinary. And kind of
ordinary, yeah.
And it was like, I can't walk around like, and it's not that I walk around like I'm not common. Not that. But the mindset. I had to say, okay, God say I didn't make you common. And it's not to preach, because I'm not going to preach this message.
But you have a sense of presence, and people need to recognize
that's
that.
what God...
You got to have you have a sense of presence.
And that's what God was saying. You're not common, because there are certain things that I was understanding from a common mind. And it wasn't making sense to me, because I was thinking about it from a common mind. He was like, you're not common. I need your thinking. Look, I need your thinking to go from here to here, because you're thinking on this level, on this level right here, and it's not going to make sense to you, because I haven't made you common. You're not common, but you're thinking from a common mind. So I need your thinking to come up here. Now, the battle for me, I'm not going to be transparent, is getting my thinking, going through all the muck and all the to get my thinking here.
I'm surprised
to believe it, that I'm not this, that I'm not that. Because in that leveling up is, can't do that right there no more. You can't. Now, it was okay last year. It was okay in December. It was okay then. But now in May, it's not okay no more, because everything is a process. God is a loving God. God is a caring God. God is a God that walks you through every step, every detail. He walks you through it. And he don't just come to us and just go, boom. He don't do that. Now, if he needs to do that, he will. But he don't do it like that. He knows everything about us, from the crown of our head to the soles of our feet. He knows what we have, and he knows what we have need of. So God knows us. He numbered the hairs on our head. He knows us, and he's not in it to condemn us. He's not in us to break us down. He's not in it to do that. He's not. He's going to lead you and guide you, each person individually, according to their relationship with him, their process in him, their purpose in him. Period. How he does me is not how he does Miss Carmen. We may have some similarities in how he does us, but her walk and her purpose and her journey is hers, and mine is man's. I hate when people say mine's, but I'm going to say mine is mine's.
And that shows that each one of us are uniquely made.
Yeah. Good morning. Yeah. God says that we are fearfully and wonderfully made, and that means we are unique.
Unique in our own way.
Individual. And that goes back to our value, what he's placed in us. what He's placed in us.
We gonna cry more today than we ever cried.
Always be crying. And look, we almost an hour and a half. And this, y'all, Coffee and Conversations with Paula was originally intended to be 30 minutes. A quick little 1-2 on a Saturday morning. But I think I had one, and it was the one, not last Saturday, but the Saturday before, one where it was right at 30 minutes.
Forget me.
It was only one, and that's the one Miss Carmen wasn't it, because Miss Carmen gonna make me talk. But again, that was my take on what Coffee and Conversations is. I said 30 minutes because I didn't want people to say, well, it's too long.
But
she
the
did
thing
it.
is this. This is the thing. This is God working.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, like I said, we've known each other for years. Long time.
Yeah.
And there's an
and I'm 55.
And I'm 61.
So.
And she touched me in ways that I don't open up to everybody. I don't. Because, you know, Trail is the ultimate, but we're going to talk about that in a whole.
Trail is a relationship killer.
Whoa. So I'm I'm very cautious with what I say and to whom I say it to. Thank you. Mm-hmm. That's all I want to say is thank you. Girl, your battery's going down.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Jesus. Hold on, let me. Oh, my battery dying, y'all. We done talked about. And Miss Carmen, thank you for that, because even though we feel like we don't need to have that, or we don't, you know, I'm really not in it for that, it feels good to have someone. It feels good to be appreciated. It feels good to know that what you're doing is touching others, because a lot of people don't say, and it's okay, because a lot of people can't say.
You know that saying, if I only save one life, that is a very powerful statement.
It's true. It's true.
And with Miss Paula, it is, if I only save, I'm going to say, she saves more than one life. She saves more than one relationship. She saves more than one marriage. She saves more than one Carmen. Because, baby, I text old girl this morning, like I wasn't going to come.
I said, I will see you. I will see you at 9:30.
Yeah, that's what she said, girl. When I tell you I rolled out and on the floor, that's what I rolled out and on the floor. My hair was sticking up all over. So I said, well, I'm going to put a scarf on today. I cried a little bit this morning, and I cried a little bit this morning, and I cried a little bit this morning. But here I am.
And the thing about it is, when we turn this camera off in a few minutes, we're going to talk some more.
I know, right?
It's not going to be over.
It's more than one cup of coffee here.
Yes, yes. But I say all that to say thank y'all for tuning in to Coffee and Conversations. Those that are watching now, or those that are going to watch the replay, have fun with it. Hopefully you can start a dialogue within yourself about what we've talked about. Start a dialogue with you and your friends or your family members or whatever. This is not because we're perfect. This is just a conversation of some of the things that we deal with, some of the stuff that you go through, and hopefully something we said will kind of highlight something in your life that either you're dealing with or something that you may be doing, you know, and that's what this is all about. This is strictly just coffee
and
conversations with Paula. So I'm gonna have cups coming soon and t-shirts coming soon. And again, this is the second and fourth Saturday morning of every month. We'll be here at 9:30. Now I don't know if we're gonna always be at Books A Million in Vieira. We may move it around a little bit.
Find us a little spot, because listen here, you can watch this online, but it's nothing like being in the presence of it. Yeah. Even if you got an hour and a half, Miss Paula, she gonna find a spot, and we're gonna be there. You know, when we get together.
Yeah. We might show up. We might go to Orlando one morning and shop a little bit afterwards.
Well, I drink the coffee, y'all shop.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten there. I haven't gotten there yet.
We can pedal.
But we could go to Denny's like we did. No, Perkins like we did that time.
Oh, in the back there. You think I should probably do another one of those?
I think you should.
And that was self-care.
Hey, let's do coffee and conversation
at Perkins. That's good, Miss Carmen.
See,
well, but it's gonna be a little more than coffee. Though Perkins breakfast was good.
Coffee, conversation, coffee, and
breakfast.
breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can still keep,
Yeah.
with a little
Yeah.
breakfast on the side.
You get breakfast if you want.
Yeah, we'll do that. I think we might just do that. But y'all stay tuned for that. But Coffee and Conversation with Paula is every second and fourth Saturday morning, every month. And it's just a conversation. It's not scripted. Y'all saw the flyer, put it out there, and we don't have no notes. We don't discuss it. We just come together and we just talk about it. And wherever it goes is where it goes. So hopefully something was said to help you, help us all deal with something we're dealing with, something that we're doing. You know, who knows? And then make sure you tune in to Freedom Fridays, PC Ministries Freedom Fridays, every first and third Friday of every month, where I deal with what we feel from the inside out. The next one, next Friday, June the 2nd, it's going to be a good one. They're all good. Because I sit back and I watch them all. When I get done, I watch them all. I'm like, whoa, that was good.
You good.
But this one here,
good.
This one here going to be a good one.
I think I'm cried out for today, though.
We're going to laugh a little bit. Refill our coffee cups and laugh a little bit. But I thank you all. Have a wonderful Saturday. Enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. Thank you for everybody that has served and those that have lost their lives for serving. I am a military vet. My husband is a military vet. And I'm just thanking God that we are two of the ones that made it out alive, likewise, safe and well. And likewise for Miss Carmen's husband. So thank you all that served, that made it out. And my prayers go out to the ones of us that have lost family members in the military due to serving. So we love you all. Be safe this weekend. Have fun. Eat lots of barbecue. Go out to the beach if you're by the beach, which we are. And have a good time. And I will see y'all next Friday. Well, PC Ministries page all week. But Freedom Fridays, this coming Friday, June the 2nd. It's already the half of the year.
Summertime, babies.
Y'all, this year ain't waiting for nobody. Wow, Freedom Fridays, June the 2nd at 8 p.m. on PC Ministries page, live. So, love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Bye.